the Britannic, fitted out brand new as a hospital ship, had left Southampton with Violet Jessop on board, going out to the Mediterranean.
Well, you see, I was nursing.
She was built to survive the very disaster that killed her sister, the Titanic. The name alone echoes tragedy, a marvel of modern engineering brought down by a slab of ice and human pride. But what if I told you her story didn't end on that cold April night? From the steel bones of her wreckage rose another ship, stronger, safer, meant not for luxury, but for redemption. Her name was Britannic.
Hi, I'm Erin. Be sure to watch this video to the end because there's something haunting I want to show you. It just might change how you view this entire chapter of history.
Britannic was the third and final ship of the Olympic-class trio, a fleet that included her famous sisters, Olympic and Titanic. Her keel was laid in Belfast in November 1911, just 5 months before Titanic would begin her doomed maiden voyage. At first, she was to be called Gigantic, a name that screamed ambition. But after Titanic's catastrophic loss, that name felt cruel. White Star Line quietly changed it. Britannic, a name invoking strength, dignity, and perhaps a touch of humility. Every weakness that doomed Titanic became a blueprint for change. Bulkheads were raised to B-deck, a reinforced double hull now wrapped around her engine rooms. And perhaps most notably, 48 lifeboats were added, supported by Welland davits so powerful they could swing across the deck regardless of the ship's list. Britannic wasn't built for opulence anymore. She was designed to be unsinkable, truly this time.
If you like stories like these that still whisper from the deep, remember to subscribe. It helps our little channel grow and it tells YouTube that you want more.
She was beautiful. Her hull gleamed white. Her interiors, though not fully complete, were being fitted for grandeur. The centerpiece? A magnificent staircase, rumored to rival Titanic's. There were to be Turkish baths, a grand dining saloon, even a full-size Philharmonic organ. But history intervened. By the time she was nearing completion, the world was at war. The luxury ocean liner would never carry a single paying passenger. In 1915, Britannic was requisitioned by the British Admiralty and transformed into His Majesty's hospital ship. Her interiors were stripped and placed with rows of metal frame beds. Operating rooms were installed, X-rays machines hummed quietly. Her white hull was repainted with olive green stripes and blood-red crosses. Among the many who served aboard her was Florence Elizabeth Irving, a trained nurse who had seen the horrors of the Gallipoli firsthand. Florence would later write of her time aboard. The ship was our sanctuary. Even amidst war, there was something noble in what we were trying to do. On November 21st, 1916, Britannic sailed through the Aegean Canal near Greece on her 6th mission. The seas were calm, the air still. Captain Charles Bartlett stood on the bridge, unaware that beneath the waterline lay a deadly trap. At 8:12 a.m., a massive explosion tore through her starboard bow. It was a German mine, planted by submarine U-73. The blast immediately flooded the first 4 watertight compartments, but when one of the doors jammed, the water kept pushing. Captain Bartlett made a bold decision: full speed ahead. He hoped to beach the ship on the nearby island of Kea, but what he didn't know, what no one realized, was that many of the lower deck portholes had been opened for air circulation. As the ship listed, those portholes dipped beneath the surface and sealed her fate. Water bypassed the bulkheads entirely.
If you had been aboard, would you have trusted her defenses? Or would you have sensed that something was wrong? Let me know in the comments. I read every one.
In the chaos, some lifeboats were launched too early. 2 were caught by the ship's spinning propellers. Shredded like paper, the water turned red. Dozens were killed in seconds. Captain Bartlett, realizing the danger, ordered the engines shut down. His timing saved the remaining lifeboats. By 8:35, the evacuation was well underway, and by 9 a.m., Captain Bartlett stepped off the bridge as it slipped beneath the sea. By 9:07, Britannic was gone. Among the survivors was one woman whose story still feels impossible, Violet Jessop.
You said there was a noise and you felt it was
Yes,
a torpedo.
well, I was upstairs in the pantry getting this nurse her breakfast, and all the staff, medical staff, dozens of doctors, you see,
Right.
and nurses, they were all in the saloon at breakfast.
Right,
When suddenly, crash.
right.
Well, no sooner did the crash happen than everybody stood up from their table and disappeared. And it was so different to the Titanic, where there didn't seem to be any panicky movement, you know. No.
Everything happened as though normally.
Yes, yes.
But of course this was wartime.
Exactly, yes.
She had sailed on the Olympic when it collided with HMS Hawke in 1911. She survived the sinking of Titanic in 1912, rowing passengers to safety, and now she was aboard Britannic as a Red Cross nurse. As she leapt into water, Violet was struck in the head by the ship's descending keel. She surfaced, bleeding, and swam for her life. Again. 3 disasters, 3 escapes, 1 remarkable woman. Despite the horror, over 1,030 people survived. Only 30 lives were lost, a fraction compared to Titanic's 1,500. Why? Better training, better lifeboats, calmer seas, and yes, less chaos. But Britannic's loss still haunted the public. If she could sink, was any ship truly unsinkable? For decades, the wreck remained hidden beneath the Aegean, until, in 1975, legendary explorer Jacques Cousteau found her, resting on her starboard side, 400 feet below the surface. Today, Britannic remains one of the largest intact passenger shipwrecks on Earth. In 2022, Greece designated her as an underwater historic park. In 2025, for the first time, researchers were allowed to recover non-personal artifacts, giving us new insight into her story and final moments. Beneath layers of silt and steel lies a time capsule of the First World War. Britannic was the ship that should not have sunk. She was safer, stronger, built from loss, but she fell to war and a few simple human missteps. In trying to outrun death, she sailed straight into its arms. And yet, she saved more lives than she lost. In the quiet depths of the Aegean, her hull still sleeps, but her story still speaks.
Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please share it with a friend. Let's keep these voices alive.
Was Britannic's end truly bad luck, or a forgotten lesson in human error? Share your thoughts below, and if you love forgotten legends and unsolved histories, subscribe to Chronicles and Curiosities.